Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very late Mountain Man Monday. Welcome to the mountains of Western North Carolina. I'm your host, Mr. Mountain Man, and we are getting it going quite late this evening, but as they say, better late than never. Welcome to LiveStream episode number 91, and today's date is October the 11th, 2021. I want to welcome all the night owls that are joining me late on this Monday evening, as well as anyone who may be watching later on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel. As always, this live stream and all past ones are available under the live stream playlist. Also, kick it off with a little, I appreciate all the support on the channel. If you find this information and gathering on Monday to have this get together helpful, make sure to hit the thumbs up and share it with others in the community. I know there are constantly people wondering about what's happening with the leaves, where are the bears, what's there to do in Western North Carolina, what's there to do in the mountains. That's where we talk about it right here on Monday evening. Again, things are getting going late. I don't expect many people to show up this evening. What happened was we lost the internet for about 8 hours today. I was just about to call it not happening and make a post on the channel. And right at the last minute, 20 minutes ago, it came back on. And that was about the ETA. They thought it would take about 8 hours to fix. I was not expecting to get the internet back. I have done live streams this late before. I figured it was better to get it going and say hello to the community. So we'll see if a few people are going to show up this evening. But yeah, everything's going okay. Just the internet. I literally was about to just go work out instead, or do a little workout or something, just not to forego, the time that I normally spend here. But I'm happy to be here. I have a little bit of an abridged version. I had to scramble because I normally prepare that Monday evening, the news and notes, and that too, I was like, well, they'll understand. I'm not going to do it. I got just one article this evening, which I threw together directly immediately before this. And I'm here with you all. So again, hopefully you are having a nice start to your week and a nice Monday. Again, here live from the mountains of Western North Carolina. Let's see the few folks that have joined. Mom is here. Hello. Glad to have you here this evening, and I hope you and Dad are doing well. I said, my love. Mr. Carlos, are we early or too late? Neither. I guess, well, you were maybe a minute early before I actually got the live stream going, but now you are here and things are happening. Yes, it is Monday already. I'm telling you, time flies. I mean, it seemed like 15 minutes ago I was in Myrtle Beach. It's already, mid-October, and, we're getting there. Fall is, starting to get in full swing, and it is, the year is definitely passing by. Like I mentioned, not to be depressing, but a few months from now, it'd already be past New Year's. So let's savor the wonderful holiday season and enjoy, fall and winter and everything it has to offer. Hey, Rita, I was wondering if everything was okay. Glad to see you. Yes. It was nothing with like weather. We probably have the same weather, not too different than you. It's been sunny. It was nothing but rain last week. It got really wet, but it's been just sunny all weekend. We had a beautiful weekend, and it's supposed to be sunny for like the next week. It's kind of either or recently. It's like 6 days of rain, then 6 days of sun. It'd be better if it was a little back and forth. But I think I was out driving and I saw some crews working, and I think that, I don't know. Those commercials, call 411 before you dig. I think a lot of people don't yield to that, or either I really don't know what the reason, but this one took out the internet. So I wasn't expecting to be on. So we can kind of think of this as like a bonus, but it's late. It's like almost 10 p.m. Top news story, Mr. Mountain Man's internet is back. That's basically it. I mean, I'm here. So, so the internet is back. And like I said, better late than never. Been windy here all day and hot. That's in Tennessee, Central Tennessee. Yeah, that's it was, I would say, unseasonably warm here too. Not like uncomfortably warm, maybe just to the brain to say, well, this is October, it should be a little bit cooler than this. The mid to high 70s have been hanging around, especially at the lower elevations, which has delayed probably some of the color in the mountains. As I understand, the best color right now for the leaf season is above 5,000 feet. So you're talking about Mount Mitchell and such, and that's pretty high. Hey, Blondie's Adventure, how are you doing? I've seen some cool stuff come from your channel about the baby shower games and everything going on. I know you're excited about the arrival of, I believe, your granddaughter or grandchild, maybe not sure, but happy for you and your family, and that is A plus. And also your channel just coming out with a plethora of content. Great job over there, Blondie, and hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining us this evening. Did you hear about them getting some snow last week at Mount Mitchell? Are you serious? I did not. I would love to see if anybody has a link or something. You know, I've been checking their weather, and it does get substantially cooler up there than it can here near Asheville. I mean, it could be a full 20 degrees cooler. They can get a lot of snow. I mean, it can be much different, but I didn't know that it was that cool, but that's pretty impressive if it happened this early. Stopping in before heading to bed. Yes, well, I appreciate that. You know, it is late. Like I said, I had really planned on getting on probably around, I don't know, 8:30 tonight, you know, trying to get in earlier, but just happy to be here. Yes, and please hit the big thumbs up, little thumbs up, any thumbs up. I appreciate it for you all. Probably not doing my channel any favors tonight by coming on so late for the YouTube algorithm suggesting this live stream to others. But again, any support that you all have, I do appreciate it. Because honestly, if 5-10 people show up and 5-10 people hit the thumbs up, that's 100%, and that's fantastic. Anyway, it's great. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. All the trees, for the most part, are still very green. Yes, they are very green. And as you all heard me, I wasn't rushing it this year. Like, I think the year has just gone by so darn fast. Maybe because life's busy, you know, that old thing, you know, when it's busy and things go, you know, so quickly, and you know, it just seems like it goes by quickly. So I was like, you know, do you guys remember the picture I posted on Instagram? I think it was in February or March, where it was a bunch of trees, but it was just all, it was a beautiful blue sky, but it was all brown twigs. It was just nothing but branches and twigs and trees, and they were all brown, not a leaf, not a piece of green in sight. And I vividly remember that picture. And I think I put on it like, I'm ready for spring to start blooming. Well, I really enjoy winter. I mean, I love the change of seasons. You know, snow is fantastic. We have so much fun. But I don't want to rush through the leaves falling off and all that stuff. So it's okay that they're a little bit green and the warmer weather's hanging on here a little bit. It'll catch up. Thanks, Mr. Mountain Man. It's a granddaughter in 6 weeks. Fantastic. You know, nothing like having a little one around. I could appreciate that. We do around here, and things are lively and fun. It's really neat to see all that stuff. So again, thank you for everybody who is joining me here. I mean, at this late 10 p.m. Eastern, but I definitely wanted to get in here and say hello. Had a good weekend. Didn't do much in the way of like anything, you know, super interesting. We have a lot of deer where I live, and I made the mistake over the years of kind of, I don't want to say guessing at plants and shrubs that I would buy, but probably not doing quite enough research ahead of time. So I had bought some shrubs. Well, first of all, I always liked hollies, and hollies, you just can't grow them. The deer will eat hollies like a dessert. They like the leaves. It's not the berries only. A holly tree that gets much larger does a lot better, but holly shrubs are really, they got mowed down. So I lost, you know, over $100 in shrubs a few years back. Then I bought these dwarf crepe myrtles. Now, deer are not supposed to like crepe myrtles. This was a dwarf. They were supposed to turn into a shrub and have these red leaves, and they were supposed to be really cool. But the deer, they went after them too. And this was in the summer. You have to keep in mind that if anything doesn't survive in the summer, there is no way in the winter, because the way the deer work is you know, when it gets deep in the winter, they get hungry and there's less green. So they'll get more desperate and start to go to that next level. And so the one we bought was already having difficulty. And I had swore when I looked it up when we bought them at Lowe's that they had been deer resistant. But the good thing is Lowe's has a nice return policy that's extended for plants. So we kept all the planting buckets and took them back and got our money back. And then I did full on research, YouTube and the internet, and found this really great site from some university that ranked like a grading system, A, B, C, D, of like which plants that deer are resistant and more, and gave a grade. And so went through, and I kind of wanted something evergreen. And we already have some boxwoods in the yards. Those are tremendous boxwoods, but I got enough of those. And so ended up getting these other little pine shrubs that are really good. And so those are nice. So put those out on Saturday. And then just stuff around the house. And then Sunday did like, you know, church and going out to eat and like watch the Steelers win and do stuff like that. So it was a good weekend, but I just didn't, there was nothing like last weekend where we went to Dollywood. What we do is we tend to, you know, we'll you know, the thing is on those weekends where we go somewhere, I don't get anything done, and the chores and the to-do list really start to back up. So I have to be selective on when we do stuff like that, like going there. Let's see here. Our leaves are falling here in Northwest Indiana. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you guys are a bit more north, so hopefully you have some beautiful scenery right now. And Halo Grace is your granddaughter's name. That is a beautiful name. Again, congratulations. I mean, again, it's just wonderful family and little ones. That is A++. Very happy for you, and I know you're excited. I thought I heard it was a light dusting, but I tried looking it up and couldn't find anything. It very well may happen. Again, you're talking about 6,700 feet up there at Mount Mitchell. So, you know, the difference in weather and how extreme it can be different. I always enjoy looking at like Mount Pisgah and Mount Mitchell in the winter when I know it's like 30 in Asheville and maybe it's not quite cold enough to snow. So it's like 37. You're definitely getting, you know, a lot of snow up there. The difficult thing is you can't go enjoy it because the Blue Ridge Parkway, they don't even bother with shoveling it. It is completely tourist and secondary. If it is even a sign of sleet, snow, or ice, closed. And as I understand, you can go on foot because people still go up to like Craggy Gardens and other places. And, you know, I remember seeing something, you know, somebody went up to Craggy Gardens. I think they hiked up there and there was like 23 inches of snow or something. We didn't have anything, I don't think, in Asheville, or just a little bit. So this past weekend, I am grandma nesting mood. Yes, I know that the nesting, you know, we got into that when we started having kids, and you know, you kind of start prepping and getting everything ready. Very exciting times. Hey, Larry, happy Mountain Man Monday. Just got here way late. No problem, because I had the internet knocked out for, you know, half the day here. I didn't even think this was going to happen. I said better late never. We've done this before late as a group, you know, been here at, I think I may have even started post 10 o'clock. I mean, it's not ideal, but, you know, there are people who are joining from Central Time Zone and other time zones. And some people, I tend to be up a little bit later anyway. So it's just kind of my schedule. So glad to have you here. If you happen to be driving on 19 East between I-26 and Spruce Pine, watch your speed. Sheriff, Burnsville Police, and NC Troopers are all out writing lots of tickets. So this area that Mr. Carlos is talking about, I'm sure he's way more familiar than me. But the several times I've been there, that road is a very wide road. I mean, a huge median, gorgeous mountain views. Love riding the motorcycle up there or being up there in the car. So you really, and it's really straight. So you really feel like you might be going down the hill, and whether it's a motorcycle or car, and not realize it, and you're picking up a head of steam. And the speed limit, I don't remember it, you know, might be 45 in some areas, 55. and you're looking down, you're going 75 or something like that. So this I would totally believe. That's great advice, and I appreciate it. I never really always know when we're going up that way, but a lot of times it's ad hoc. It could just be like, let's go up on the north side of Asheville, up there, Burnsville and stuff. And, and that, so that's great advice. And anybody else who might be, this is great information. We have 3 to 5 deer that lay in the yard in the early morning several times a week. Yes, we have a lot of deer that roam our yard. It's interesting because where we are in the mountains, it's a lot of deer, but and we get turkey too. We don't see a lot of black bear, which is funny because they do exist. They're on the news all the time. People take pictures of them. I just think it's a crazy coincidence. I don't see them that much, but the deer, they're all over the place. That's why I always tell that funny story that I have seen, I think the most I've ever counted in a pack around where I am is 13 deer. And a lot of times you see the little fawns, the baby deer. I mean, super small. We're talking like this big with the white spots. You see that, and it's pretty cute. It's pretty neat to see. But yeah, they eat everything. So you gotta plant accordingly. Hit 4 deer at one time. That sounds what in the world? What was that, on the highway, like with a big truck or something? Yikes. Did you get a ticket, Mr. Yeah, that stinks. What were you doing, if you don't mind asking? What is the speed limit there? That stinks. Yeah, that does stink. Yeah, and you live there too. That's a bummer. Hey, Toderico, how you doing? Glad you could join us this late Monday evening. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Blondie, you have a wonderful week. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. I've been on past 11 with you. Yes. We have done it pretty late here before. And this one will probably end up, if I go an hour, it'll probably go at least to 11. But that's the great thing about catching up on these live streams later, after the fact. They hold the test of time, at least for a few weeks. Since some of it is news oriented, if you go back and watch an old live stream, they probably are a little bit stale, talking about something older. But some of the conversations we have are really timeless. So, everybody enjoys. So just do it. I was reading something too. It's kind of surprising. This is why it's always good to do research. And I have spent a lot of time over the years trying to figure out like how to make, the different places I've lived, how to make your lawn green, what time of the year to fertilize, maybe taking a soil sample to the county extension, which is usually free, finding about, soil sample levels and, the minerals and figuring, so I've done my due diligence and research, but sometimes it's just never enough. You do this or that and something doesn't work out right in the yard. But fall, turns out, I read, is an excellent time to plant. And the reason is because it's not extreme heat, so the roots don't have to work as hard. I also found something else out interesting, that planting trees that have no leaves in the fall, that are not dead, but that have no leaves, is actually a great time because it doesn't stress the roots to have to promote that growth right away. So that's another interesting little fact I had not known. So anyway, it was a good weekend. Our temperatures have steadily, like I said, during the day been in the 70s. In fact, this evening it was probably still 75, 76, 77 there for a little while. It's so windy here tonight, and Larry, I believe, is still out in California. Supposedly like 10 to 15 foot waves didn't make it over to sea. That's the one thing about the Pacific coast, is those waves. I'm not into surfing or anything, but from what I've seen or documentaries and stuff, it's just crazy, some of the pictures over there. And then of course over in Hawaii and all that, it would be pretty interesting to see. Yeah, if you get to check that out. Hey, Mike, hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Thanks for joining us later on this evening. Glad that you could join us. Let us know how you're doing. 69 in a 55 near Meekaville. I'm from, you're from, why do I always think, Mr. Krause, you're from Burnsville? Am I having just a big old brain fart with that? Or you've said you're from Raleigh. I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway, you don't have to say. I'm from Raleigh, so I'm still getting used to the hills here. Oh, you were originally from Raleigh. Maybe now you're here. At least that's what I told the judge. I have a story growing up. I got a ticket. I've only had a handful of tickets in my life, believe it or not, with the Cobra and all my cars. I've had a Prelude and 2 Mustangs. And so I've always had a sports car stick shift. I was going school zone when I was growing up in Ohio was like 15 miles an hour. I think I was going like 30, it's probably double. Got a ticket and had to go to the judge, maybe because I was a minor. I think you couldn't just pay it. The person in front of me was younger as well. And I think we were all juveniles, you know, what was considered minor or whatever. And the person in front of me was had a bunch of tattoos or something. And nowadays, I don't think many people bat an eye at it, but you know, this was more 25 years ago almost. Yeah, it would have been a little different time, not such as rampant as it is. And so the judge inquired to the person, we were all in line, you know, what's up with the tattoos, if you don't mind me asking. Person's like, oh, I'm into wrestling and I do this and that. Well, the judge was into wrestling, and this person had gone like 95 and a 60, and which to me seems kind of fast. But when they start talking about the wrestling and stuff, and the judge is kind of like, oh yeah, I do this, and my son, you know, and we go, and then the guy, you know, whoever was getting in trouble was like, yeah, I do that too, and they're like, oh yeah, that's great, and you know, well, I'm gonna knock that down, you know, it's, you know, $60, I don't know, back then, you know, and you know, 1/2 point, you know, just take it easy out there, you know, let's not have it happen again. Okay, I come up, you know, I think I had like a tie on and stuff like that. He looks at the ticket, and he had just been super nice and all nice with that person. He's like, 30 and a 15 in a school zone? Are you kidding me? He's like, do you know how dangerous that is? It was a high school, by the way. It was not like an elementary. And he's like, he just like wanted to chew me one out. He went from, I should have been in wrestling. If I would have been a wrestler, then I would have made off a lot better. But it was so funny how this dude's doing almost 100 on the interstate and hits it off with the judge. But here I am, 30 and a 15. It was a 5-lane highway by the high school that had a median in the middle, the turn lane, excuse me. And he was livid with me. And I was like, yes, sir. Or I don't know if I said sir or judge or what, I don't remember, but I was like, no problem. And he was just like, don't let this happen again. And this is a problem and all this stuff. I was like, holy cow. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. I don't like getting tickets. I got one on Christmas Eve once too in Georgia on I-95 in my old Mustang, and the state trooper, he didn't care. I didn't even say a word. He's like, slow that down. He gave me a ticket. It was expensive. It was a couple $100, I think, that one. I heard plant trees in a month that end in ER. Hey, ER. Yeah, is that the one with yeah, so what would that be? Auguster? No, I'm just joking. September, October, November, December. That's pretty interesting. December. I would think what zone you're in. But that's not bad advice. That's interesting. I think that's really cool. I think December and the more moderate climates, I mean, down when we live in Florida, December, whatever. Yeah, you could pretty much plant all year round, probably, other than February wasn't probably ideal. It is time for us to spend some time. Look at me below this thing. Look at it. Where's Mr. Mountain Man? It is time for us to spend some time at the Mr. Mountain Man evening live stream, where he will carry us through Western North Carolina and areas beyond and keep us up current on the events of his great state. Woo! I appreciate that, Foxy. Glad to have you here this evening. I'm sporting my my Steelers, by the way. Can I even get that in the so anyway, yeah, got this here. Let's do the thumbnail in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so cool. Glad to have you here. Foxy, I didn't see you here at first. I thought maybe you were not going to show up, and I wouldn't have blamed you because it was so late. As I mentioned earlier, the internet was knocked out for about 8 hours, and I didn't even think I was going to go. It was going to be happening. My last ticket was in 86, 73 and 55 is my birthday. State trooper looked at my license and said, slow it down. Happy birthday. Right. Same kind of thing. That's like, yeah, you know, I don't care. Merry Christmas, happy birthday, whatever. I just got married. I don't care. You know, like, so anyway, yeah, thankfully I haven't had a ticket, 1, 2, 3, knock on wood, in a while. Believe it or not, you say, oh, Cobra and all that. I don't really do anything dumb. I don't like to drive, too fast, or, I'll get on the accelerator to hear the exhaust and the engine and rev it and stuff. But, a lot of people want to race me, just by the very essence of my car, but, I'm not having it. So, yeah, I usually keep it pretty safe. I just happened to find you. I got no notification tonight. Still have not. That is interesting. Well, did you, do you get notifications in general? There on notifications, there are 3 options that I notice. It is none, personalized, and all. And when I subscribe to a channel, it automatically for me defaults to personalized, which I don't personalize anything. So I actually have to explicitly hit the bell and change it to all if it's a channel I really like. Or sometimes I actually do exercise the none option. I'm like, well, I want to be subscribed and know and get the little dot when there's a video, but I don't want my phone to be spammed every single time a video comes out. So I do kind of throttle that, but something to check on. Yeah, it's your honor. And I probably, yeah, I didn't judge. No, it's your honor. I don't remember if I said your honor. That was 25 years ago. Your honor, yes, sir, or something. He might have, no, it's your honor. I don't remember. Speaking of wrestlers, you just did the nature boy Ric Flair. Woo! Woo! Ric Flair, the reason I wasn't big into wrestling, but I did know about him because when I used to live in Charlotte, and speaking of me working out at Gold's Gym, in Charlotte, he owned 2. I don't know if they can even do this anymore, but they used to be, they were branded Ric Flair's Gold Gym. So I think when you could, so Gold's Gym has corporate and franchise. And I've been to both in different places. When I was in Florida, it was a franchise. Up here, it's corporate. I prefer franchise because usually local owners are nicer and they're a little friendlier. The corporate, I don't know, it just seems more robotic. But Ric Flair owned a couple of Gold's Gym, and I had a membership at it for a while. But yeah, Ric Flair with the white hair, that's cool. This is Ohio. Yes. Seatbelt tickets twice. That's an interesting one. Was that like a courtesy pullover and you didn't have it on? That's hard to spot. I actually think about this nowadays. I'll tell you one thing, that I am a huge proponent of tickets. I'm serious. I think that distracted driving from holding up a cell phone, texting or whatever, I don't care what's going on. I see it. We have a lot of 2-lane roads here. Okay. So you are able to look in the driver car with no median, 2-lane highways, a lot of places where I live here in the mountains. And you're driving, and to be defensive driver, you've always got to watch nobody's crossing left to center, whatever. I am constantly seeing people holding up their phone while they're driving. And especially at night, it's tattletale because of the brightness of the phone. You see people there. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I honk at people. Like, I'll honk and like kind of give them the eye of like, put that down. There have been times on the motorcycles, it's been a while, but back in the day, because I'm not obstructed, that I would point in a car and be like, put it down. I mean, it's not my business I understand telling people what to do, but it's so dangerous. Most states now have a distracted driving law anyway. It's just, I've seen people on phones start swerving. I mean, it's got to be as bad. I think there's been some studies as being under the influence. I mean, it's one thing to press a button or it's off to the side or answer a phone call on a hands-free. But I don't know. I mean, it's like, so anyway, the seatbelt one's interesting, but I think cell phones, I'm like, pull them over. I don't want to see, people messing around, texting, checking Facebook, doing crap on their phone when they're in their car. I got a ticket on the Blue Ridge Parkway outside Roanoke. Ranger threatened me with a U.S. Marshal. What, if you didn't pay on the spot, or like if you didn't pay like later? That's crazy. I had to resubscribe to you tonight. I wonder if Foxy got unsub too. Well, what's up with that? Are you guys serious? Like, that's like a big bummer if like that's why people didn't show up, because of something with YouTube. But I don't know why that would happen. That is interesting. I don't think I've ever had to resubscribe to this. I've had to change the bell, but I don't know if I've ever had to. That's crazy. I hope that's not rampant and widespread. I was a speed freak on my bike. Always looked for the long straightaways. No incidents, luckily. Yeah, the other day, about a week ago, I was driving and there was a motorcycle going the other way, what's called a crotch rocket, or, you know, that style of motorcycle. And somebody did a wheelie. I see it a lot, you know, and for a while, they'll be, wah, 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 you know, on a highway. I'm not talking about dirt bike. Yeah, I take off quick, but not much on the high end. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, if it's 45, 55, 65, maybe, you know, get a couple gears going, and, you know, if it's not in heavy traffic or something like that. But I'll tell you what, on Instagram, I started liking some photos of like Cobras and Mustangs. So it tries to throw in the mix of things you like. It thinks you like. So it's throwing in all these videos of like, it seems like they're younger people doing some of the craziest stuff in cars I've ever seen in my life, like on full freeway, cutting in and out of traffic while videoing it. Like, you would think they would be, incriminating themselves, but they're like purposely like racing through traffic, cutting in and out of cars, like super awful stuff. Just crazy. I can't believe what I see. So I checked the comments to see if people are like, that's awesome, or if people are like, you're an idiot. It's pretty much a mix of both. I don't get involved in it. That's crazy. I usually get all notifications, over 50 a day. Odd about you today. Yeah, that is weird. Hopefully that didn't happen. Actually, for some reason, I have that I will receive no notifications from you. Redid that. So strange. Spooky Halloween ghost. Well, maybe you were like that Mr. Mount Man. He never comes out with a video. So I finally came out with a video this week. I hope you saw. I don't even know if you saw the notification on that, Foxy, because you are not required to, but you tend to be one of the people that do watch and comment on my videos. I think I noticed you had not commented on it. So maybe you haven't seen that. Cell phones are the new opium, and we're going to high tech ourselves right back to the Stone Age. I'm with you on that. I mean, I am a, technology person, but I think I keep it at bay, like when needed, and know, when it's appropriate to step away, get away, how to use it, how to respect it. Because like your analogy here, it absolutely, could be. Once my temp tag fell off about 30 years ago, and second time pulled me over for 59 to 55. 59 to 55. I'd be like, you need to get your gun calibrated, your what do they call them, radar gun, and gave me the seatbelt ticket, not a speeding ticket. I normally wear it all the time. Yeah. I tell you, it stinks. My wife has gotten some in the past. I remember back when we lived in Florida, and she was livid that she got him, and she went to the police station and sat there for like 2 hours waiting to like protest or something, and they didn't give her the time of day. They wouldn't even talk to her. Naturally, I knew that, and she gets super mad when she's gotten them before. And so yeah, it's pretty crazy. Tickets are no fun. I have been lucky enough to talk my way out of 2 over the years. One was on not a complete stop at a stop sign. I stopped for just a second. I think, to be honest with you, that would be the one if I got busted, because when you drive on a bunch of roads that you're well aware of, what do they call that? A California stop, or a California rolling stop is kind of the slang term for that, where you kind of just stop and go. But I don't know. I'm all about safe driving. I get it, but especially at night, maybe, or dusk or dawn, when people don't have their lights on. But mean, if you can really see nobody around for a quarter mile, I'm not talking about blowing through the stop sign, but yeah, a little rolling stop. I don't know. You only need 50 subs to hit 1,000. You'll get it, Larry, and you're going to pass me. And you are just pumping out the content and you're working hard. I think that's fantastic. I shouldn't even have made the comment that you're passing me. It's not a competition. Just saying that you've had fantastic growth, well-deserved, and very happy for you. That's really awesome. Just a reminder about the 1,000. A lot of people chomp at the bit right away to do mobile live streams or monetization and all these other things. Monetization is by hours watched, and the mobile live streams, it takes it a while. It took like, I want to say a few weeks before it was fully validated, and it turned on for me. So, but regardless, that's a tremendous milestone. I tell you guys, it's depressing sometimes, like the amount of work. So I like the movie Days of Thunder because I was a NASCAR fan. So I like to look up stuff on YouTube about making of movies and stuff. And there was this random guy that had like some filming locations of Days of Thunder. And so I went to his channel, and he was definitely an amateur YouTuber. It wasn't like tremendous content, but he lived in Florida. And he was doing, sometimes I'll click on somebody and see what their channel's like, and I'll click their videos. And he had content from Universal and Disney and, some other stuff. Those are usually excellent places. There's a bit of saturation, but they're great. So I'm kind of looking at his channel, and he's got, I think, more videos than I do. He had been on for 4 or 5 years, and he had 79 subscribers. YouTube can be rough. It can spit you up and chew you up, spit you up, spit you out. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. With fatigue. And some of these channels where people produce a enormous amount of content but get no traction, that's depressing. Because I quickly scanned through one of his like Disney videos. I'm like, well, maybe it's garbage. Like maybe he's just garbage. And it wasn't a channel I was going to subscribe to, but it wasn't terrible. I've seen worse. And so the 100 subscriber milestone, 500 and 1,000, these are super hard to dig out of with starting a new YouTube channel. And oftentimes it's a mix of promotion through other channels and mediums. And what I mean, like Instagram, Facebook, other communities, going to other channels and being known. It's an uphill battle. I feel extremely fortunate. I really mean that I have over 1,000 based on the volume of videos that I've done, which is, for the canned videos, is on the lower side. I think I'm still in the 40s. I think I've only published 40 some videos. That's not counting the live streams. If you put the live streams, we're at episode 91 tonight. So, but taking out the live streams, 40 something videos, to have over 1,000 is pretty cool. The subscriber per video count. So I think that's fantastic. Anybody here who can be mildly successful on YouTube, it's a feat. The Mr. Mountain, the Eclectic Candyman is I have umpteen videos that I need to make and produce over there. I have so many tool things that I need to do, and some other videos I haven't even organized yet, and some really cool content. That channel is being enjoyed by people who enjoy that type of content, and it's up to 700 and something. And it wasn't that long ago, if you guys have been on the live streams, I always thought that was just going to be a dump bucket of like random, like just help some people kind of stuff. But once it got some consistency to it, especially with the Craftsman tool stuff, it seems to be enjoyed. So it's kind of neat seeing these things. You should see the motorcycle riders out here. They are crazy. I bet you out there on that Ocean Coast road, that they probably get pretty gnarly going up and down that highway too. Cell phones have destroyed the learning process in schools. We held back pretty heavily with our kids we resisted longer. I would say probably longer than 90 to 95% of parents in my same age group on when we allow, you know, cell phones to be had. So because we felt pretty strongly about this, not technology. I mean, we use computers and got all kinds of stuff, but it was just cell phones in particular, because it kind of opens up a whole nother world. And it's, um, you know, yeah, it's something that has to be throttled. Mr. Mountainman's going putt pro. Well, I got a lot of 2 putts on that one. That was a fun course that we did in Myrtle. Of course, Myrtle is a mecca of mini golf and putt places. They're all awesome. They're just a little pricey when you have the family, but it's worth it because it's vacation. But you know, you could, if you wanted to start putt hopping from like place to place to place over a week, you could spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars going to those places. But they're really cool. And there's a never ending amount. I mean, you think you see one that's cool theme and you go to another one and it's double in size, or the hill or the high, you know, it's all really cool. I get notifications, just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Oh, about the new video. Yes. Just check. No, I did not know you put a video out. And look at the winky face. Like, what's going on here? Yeah. Has everyone done a thumbs up? It must be late because I read that so fast. I'm seriously like, let me wash out my eyes. I read it before I clicked it, and I thought it said, has everyone done a thumbs down? I was like, what would that? No, it says thumbs up. And must be late. I appreciate that, by the way. Thank you. I always rode my bike after midnight. Back then, there were not many other cars out at 2 a.m. I used to do night riding when I first had my motorcycle back in the day. I rarely do it now, especially in the mountains. There's too many little, you know, creepy crawly things that'll come out on the road. I don't like it. There were other places I lived that I felt more secure doing, especially down in Florida. If I was like, say, like, you know, Daytona Beach Bike Week in the evening, that was so city oriented and there were bikes everywhere, that was all right. But overall, yeah, not trying to beat you. I hope you reach 50,000. According to projections, I'll reach 50,000 when I'm about 70 years old, I guess, but just natural putting it together. But, you know, I think my predictions will come right. I think, the Eclectic Candyman will pass Mr. Mountain Man. But really what my goal here is, this is still to me is, I guess they're both my channels. It doesn't matter, but I still always have this feeling of that this is my primary channel and the Eclectic Candyman is kind of secondary. But, you know, I don't know, maybe I should give them equal love. I have been these days. Back when I used to do my first videos for Eclectic Candyman, I was like, I'm not even going to put a thumbnail on them. I'm not going to really do any time editing them. They're just going to be a constant stream. And I really did go with that approach. But now I edit them almost every bit as much as I do a video on this channel. The one exception is music. There's usually audio. There's usually more attention put to music and audio, and some extra visuals like the maps and some secondary things on that. But I mean, on the Eclectic Candyman, I've thrown in some stuff too, like some screenshots of, you know, comparative tool prices and that goofy thing I did with the QVC thing, you know. That pop-up place was cool. It was great. It was, you know, and you save a little bit of money if you go out during the day. And that was the last day we were in Myrtle, and it was overcast that day. And everybody was kind of burnt out on the beach thing. The beach thing, the deal was when we stayed at that Dunes Resort is I lugged all the chairs and the umbrella and the cart and the boogie boards and everything from the parking garage across the street, you know, back across the street and onto the beach daily. But I was doing the work, but I would bring one of the kids or something like that just to, you know, to have an extra hand. But I was doing 90 to 100% of the work. So I wasn't putting the burden on them, but that whole going back and forth and the sunblock multiple times a day, I didn't want anybody getting burnt. I remember growing up and us going to Myrtle, I'd get some nasty sunburns and it's just miserable. You know, you can't put a t-shirt on, you go out to dinner, it's all hurts. So we were putting on lots of sunblock, and then you get that sand and stuff. I think they were fatigued by that. So it was welcome to have kind of a day of just kind of going out shopping and playing putt-putt. I have a video of Baywatch filming locations now, but not edited. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, that's that's right where it was. I wasn't a big Baywatch fan. I did watch the movie with The Rock and the other guy, what's his face from Greatest Showman, and anyway, I forget his name. Zac Efron. Yeah. That was a pretty cool movie. It was kind of goofy. It had a mix of comedy and action. The original show with David Hasselhoff, I didn't watch as much, and Pam Anderson and them, but it's pretty cool. I got to get some sleep. Always get up 5:30 night owl. Yes, Mike, have a great evening. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. I watch a lot of cooking videos and see if I can find new recipes, especially for cooking cookies and fudge. Yes, there's a lot. You know, I haven't gotten into cooking channels because I don't do a lot of cooking, but there are a lot of people that have cooking channels. I think YouTube is a tremendous medium for cooking. One subscriber that was on this channel early on that used to come here a lot, you guys may still watch, Mama Bear's, it used to be called Mama Bear's Instapot Cooking was, I think, the name of the channel. And she would use the Instapot and then also show some bears. She has videos from time to time, like one that came out today of, she's got like surveillance of like her house or cabin or something where black bears are always roaming, and she edits it together. And so she used to do a lot of cooking, and then she's got the bears. And there's a lot of other in the community that do a good job with cooking. Nothing I've done, but yeah. Did I take myself out of focus here? It feels like I'm out of focus. I'm good. All right. Hey, Tracy, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great start to your week. A nice Monday. Thank you for joining us late this evening. Ever watch the Isle of Man TT videos? That was me back in the day. It was my choice. I have seen some of those. I think they were on like Velocity channel and stuff like that, or it used to be called Velocity. That channel's changed names so many times. There's a lot of car shows I used to watch, like Chasing Classic Cars with Wayne Carini. The gentleman from England that they would repair an old car, they'd buy it and then they'd sell it for more. It was the guy and his buddy, what was real tall, Ed, and they would do their repairs. I learned so many new words that I wasn't familiar with, like they would call a wrench a spanner. The boot is the trunk, you know, and I remember first watching them. What the heck are they talking about? How did you find that whole box of Craftsman tools? What a deal. It was on eBay, and it was interesting because the particular seller had multiple auctions of lots of a lot of Craftsman tools. And the other ones, I didn't need the stuff, and they were pretty high priced regardless. But this one was low, and it was genuinely, this was very unusual. Several tools that I wanted: the crow's foot, the multimeter, the hammer. I use a hammer all the time. Been using it around the house, the red hammer. Tons of stuff in there, and it was priced pretty low. And I'm like, what? You know, sometimes people misprice them, or maybe the person who was selling it thought because it wasn't Craftsman Professional and just regular Craftsman. Turns out that the pliers, somebody just put a comment on that video. There were a pair of black pliers made in Germany, and I mentioned I didn't really know what they were, but I liked them because they were a thin profile. They're called like Kleinpex or Kinpex or something like that. I should know my tool brands better, but Kleinpex, or it's a German company, and they were rebranded for Craftsman. Those are like $40 pliers, you know, lo and behold. So that was a deal. It really was a deal. I mean, it was really cool. Wish they never got the fish square straight on the bun of the fillet of fish. Well, sorry. Why can they never get the fish square straight on the bun on the fillet of fish? I love the fillet of fish. I haven't had fillet of fish in a while. You used to get them on Fridays sometimes during Lent, and McDonald's would have them on sale. I had fish tonight, by the way. My wife made salmon. That movie was filmed in Florida. Was it really? That's crazy. I guess they constructed. See, when we lived in Florida, they didn't have that style of where we were, maybe down in Miami, but they didn't have that style of lifeguard structure on the beach. They just sat in the typical, whatchamacallits. Thank you. Appreciate it. Maybe you should change your vacation time to the fall and go to different places for new adventure and cooler weather. The difficult thing is school. It's a timing thing. That is a challenge to do that. But it is a great time. I remember growing up, my parents would actually take us out of school, and we went to Myrtle a couple of times because the prices are a lot cheaper. And if you catch it in late September, early October, the water hasn't cooled down a whole lot yet. But this is a busy time of the year. The kids got a lot going on. Just let them eat, the poor deer, Yeah, there's plenty that they get to feast on, plenty. I just don't want to provide them any extra, shrubs like that, but the deer, they're good. They get plenty to eat, and they are loved. There's a lot of, trees and stuff for them to eat here in the mountains. All right, let me get over here to housekeeping for the week of October the 11th, 2021. Biggest thing is there's a new video out. It's I feel silly about the video, about how long it took to come out. That video was 1/10 as difficult to edit as the main Myrtle Beach one. It was much, much simpler, and I should have had that done a lot sooner. Whatever, it is what it is. It just that video is out, and almost too late because it's like a summertime video and it's fall. I have another video that I made in August here in the mountains, and it's October. That's next on deck. I want to get that one out as soon as possible. I kind of was another housekeeping thing. This seems like an obvious strategy, but I don't have a plethora of videos, but I have a ton of ideas. But what I'd like to do is concentrate on the months of April to November of doing outdoor videos. This isn't a golden rule or a set rule or anything like that, but from April to November doing outdoor videos. From November or December till March-ish doing indoor. That would be like food and things, food reviews and restaurants and places like that. Or if it happens to snow and we get some really cool snow like I did last year, or Christmas lights or something like that, A+. The reason is because, I look back at my Chimney Rock video I did in February of this year. I believe it was February. Yeah, it was February. That's a great video. A lot of people like it and watch it. I loved it. But when you go back and look at it, the town is it was a beautiful day, but there's no leaves on the tree. If you see Chimney Rock Village in June or August or whatever, or the fall, so much more beautiful with leaves on the trees. So as you can see, I'm getting pretty picky here. I think the backdrop would have looked more beautiful had I shot that video and done it a couple of months later, but I can't be choosy because I had a day off and my sister was in town. And I thought the video came out great. The one advantage of the time we went is there was nobody in town. So people weren't getting in my way and I didn't have to feel awkward, filming around a bunch of people. It was kind of like a VIP tour through Chimney Rock Village. So that in that respect, it kind of worked out. But that's one thing. So that's kind of the strategy. I would love to get a fall video in here, kind of an original fall video. I already did, the tail of the dragon, and I would love to ride the motorcycle and get that again, but I don't know about doing a video, or maybe do it in the car, but trying to stay away from repetition, at least new angles on things, because I have a gazillion places I want to go. So no shortage of ideas, but we'll keep at it here on the Mr. Mountain YouTube channel. and I will get right to that next video that I still have in the queue. Let's see here. What else? Let me just share this couple of pictures. I don't think I posted that many this week. Yeah, so let's make sure it's in view. Basically this, I don't know if this did it justice or not, but you're starting to, what was happening with this tree is this is normally a deep green, and it's starting to have light green and yellows and some red tints to it and stuff. It is starting a lot to look like fall. And so, yeah, that was on Saturday, and then was grilling yesterday. And those trays of vegetables came out. Well, first of all, the whole meal was good. We had sweet potato waffle fries that we just store bought that had like brown sugar and sea salt on them. That was cool. Tasted really good. 2 bags of those. We had these veggie trays. You just take them out of the package and you throw them straight on the grill. For a family guy like me that I have to do prep, even doing corn, these things were a hit. They were all gone. And the chicken, normally I just buy whatever chicken, but this, what do they call it? Organic, antibiotic free, all this stuff happened to be on sale. Got 2 bags, marinated it, herb and garlic. My wife actually marinated it, and the chicken was delicious, super good. But yeah, the residual from the last grill picture, which is this one down here with those hot dogs and hamburgers I left on the grill lazily. And so when that started heating up, yeah, that was I didn't know if there was a comment on that. Yeah, that thing was flaring up, and that was not good. So, but it went away quickly. Yeah, and here they are. Pick Sweet Farms. Vegetables for grilling. One had half Brussels sprouts, carrots, and onions. The other one had broccoli florets, red potatoes, and carrots. They were really good. They were so good, to be honest with you. I could probably do 3 of them, but it fit in the grill nicely. Those were $3 a piece on sale. So yeah, that was pretty cool. That's it. That'll do it for the housekeeping of the week of October the 11th, 2021. Let me see if there's any comments to catch up on. Take your family to Rock City. Where is Rock City? Let me know where that is. There, pretty much most of the places I take the family. The one thing about the family, I've told you guys before, and I'll remind folks again, the one thing that is not working well these days as they get older is me making a video when we go somewhere. It's too much disturbance. It's not fluid enough. It's been awkward sometimes doing that, and I feel bad. So it's better if I go out with myself or one kid, or just my sister, or something to that flavor, or somebody else in the community or something like that, to do the videos. I think they said the new they watch in Florida because that's where Dwayne Johnson lives. Okay, I didn't know he lived over there. I thought he was in. No, I guess you're right. The Iron Paradise, isn't that down in where he works out? His gym is in I don't know. I should know. Mr. Mountain Man Instagram account, Mr. Mountain_man. That is correct. Going to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg next week for vacation. Thinking of 2-day side trip to Asheville. Anything going on in Asheville in the next couple weekends? Yeah. It's leaf peeping season. The next 2 weeks here, it's going to be a lot of tourism. Not like Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge busy, because we're spread out and we're a much bigger area than that condensed area is. But it will be busy. The Blue Ridge Parkway will be busy. The parks and areas will be very busy. As far as festivals and things to do, there's always something going on, like downtown or in the wider area. Some of my past live streams, I've gone over that. I think it's AVL Today. That AVL is the airport code for Asheville. So it's nothing to do with the airport, but it's a great site called AVL Today. And, I think one of the ones I did recently was like 50 things to do in the fall or something like that. So there are calendars of events of all kinds of things, whether you like food festivals or music festivals or culture and art festivals in the greater area around the Asheville and surrounding areas. There's always something going on, so make sure to check that out. Nothing that stands out in my mind, but I mean, like as we get closer to the holidays, the gingerbread house contest at the Grove Park Inn, and there's a lot of stuff, kind of events going on. The Arboretum will kick back up with the winter lights, but that's past when you're going to be here. Yes, that is the other channel, the Eclectic Candyman. There's a link on my main YouTube channel as well to that. Yes, Gatlinburg is very nice. And by the way, welcome to the live stream tonight. I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. I just watched YouTube on Asheville, Good, Bad, Ugly of Asheville, and Lots of Ugly on Asheville. Did not portray Asheville very well. There's a bunch of channels that I'm starting to see that have not intersected with mine. We think in this vertical of this community, and most of us know the same channels from Tennessee to North Carolina. But there's this whole other world outside. And how do you tell? Because if you look in the comments and you look at the people, you'll see that consistently the same people on a lot of the channels in our kind of stack of the community. But if you go over to some of these other channels, you don't see any of the same names. And so these are like fresh, new, different channels. And a lot of times they'll get suggested to me because of the nature of my channel. And there's one lady in particular, I'm not subscribed to her, but she's a realtor and does a lot of those. She's gotten a lot of subscribers and views because she does, stationary videos a lot, like, what to do before you move to Asheville and 10 things in Asheville and a lot of lists and type stuff, which are great videos, to type videos to do. That may have been the channel you may have seen, maybe not, but I'd be interested to see that one. There have been other channels that I had seen that there was one, I mentioned this like a year ago. They were not from the area. They came in and did a documentary style video of Asheville, and it had a ton of thumbs down, but it also had like 100,000 views. I mean, this was like a big time channel, like aerial footage type channel. Really cool. Excellent video. Excellent video. Ton of thumbs down. Completely spammed by either real accounts, fake accounts, or bots. Everything in the comments were very negative. Don't bring more people to Asheville. Don't have anybody move here. Don't make videos like this. I mean, like super negative. So that was something like, I was like, whoa, that's pretty rough. This was a good video that person made. But there are some folks I don't think that want Asheville to expand. And on a little tangent, I can kind of appreciate it. I mean, the reason we moved here and wanted to be here is kind of the quaint nature of the mountains and stuff. If this becomes Charlotte of the mountains, it's not quaint anymore. So, it is what it is. It's very popular. A lot of people want to move here, but, we'll see. I understand while folks that have lived here all their life may not, want overdevelopment of the area. That looks so good. I miss grilling and home cooked food so badly. You could always go get one of those little portable grills at Walmart and cook in the parking lot at your hotel. People think you're strange, but you could do it if you wanted to. Yes, here we go with the food. Pick sweet veggies are generally very good. That's good to know, to validate that. Larry, you will go wild at Thanksgiving on the food. Yes, you got that right, Rita. I just saw Asheville in some article I read the other day. Don't remember for what. Maybe Cleveland is going to run direct flights there now or something. The airport has grown bigger than its britches. Like when I was doing a lot of, before the pandemic, more business travel, we would often pull up on very cold nights and not have a gate. So we would have to deplane out on the tarmac down. It would be icy, and they would have to, I swore was a serious liability. They didn't have a gate. They were putting salt on the ramp that walks down from the airplane because it was so slippery. And there were like business people on there, like some women with heels and other stuff. I got on that thing. It was ice, and they were putting the grains down or the sand and stuff. So the people that worked for Delta were like, in arm holding people as they would go down. I mean, the point being, the airport at some point is going to have to get bigger. Went to Oktoberfest at Sugar Mountain this weekend. Sweet. That's awesome. Found out about it from that AVL Today site that you use once in a while. Yes, A+. And that's the one that that I was recommending. Wish you could live in the mountains. Yeah, I mean, but there's something nice everywhere. One of the things, Larry on our channel, from up in Ohio, it's not mountains. And I know everybody's got their different like, but it's pretty interesting when everybody takes kind of a hard look at where they live. There's history everywhere. You could take any state. You could take Nebraska. You could take Ohio. You could take Iowa. You could take Idaho, California, anywhere, um, and find the history and the state parks and the rich culture and the food and everything, and make and forget about, I'm not talking about YouTube channel, but just to savor and some of the neat things. So there's cool stuff for everywhere. Vacation Station TV out of Pigeon Forge. That is who did it. Lots of crossovers to some of yours. He showed the homeless and the open drug use. So Pack Square downtown does have a bit of homeless, but the reality is that, and I should check that out, and probably defend the city. It's a city. This is not Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge are two tiny, relatively speaking. Pigeon Forge is super busy, but if you look at the amount of people who are permanent residents of Sevierville and Gatlinburg, it's low. And so it's just transient population. And so, Asheville's a sizable city, in the greater, metropolitan area of the area, all included, there's a lot of area. And so you're going to get more, homelessness and, the homeless when you get into a larger city like this. We have a downtown with a skyline. Asheville does. So this, it should be expected is the thing. All right, let's move over to news and notes for the week of October the 11th, 2021. Let me bring that up. And as I mentioned, I only have one article tonight. And this to me was even a bonus because I didn't think, with the amount of time that I had based on the internet being down, that I was going to be able to put anything together. But I did find one article. Let me share my screen here as soon as it finishes loading. Oh, 1 second, still loading. How's the video quality been tonight, by the way? Audio is usually always good, but is the video okay? I asked just because, the internet was out and all that stuff. Let me see here. There we go. Are we up? Ba-doop, ba-doop. All right, cool. Yeah, good and bad in every city. Yes. I think all states have their attraction things to do. I'd love Ohio more if it wasn't for winter. Right. But there's still a lot of cool things. Like we talk about, like I always talk about Put-in Bay. Rock City is in Chattanooga. Oh, Chattanooga. There's all kinds of photo opportunities. It's for every age. I know you don't like seeing things before going, but do some research. Yes. I mean, enough to do, enough research. Yes. And that's a good point. Yeah. But yeah, always have to do a little research to know, at least if it's good or not. I just don't like to spoil the whole surprise. Good until now. Oh, did it get a little, I missed the seasons. It's hot and hotter here only. Yes, that was that was Florida. Video is good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, here we go. So this article was, there was a study. Bears in Asheville are twice as big, reproduce in half the time of rural counterparts. So they did a study. Black bears around Asheville. This is from the Citizen Times, I believe, today. Black bears around Asheville are twice as big and having cubs at half the age of their rural counterparts, according to the latest results from the North Carolina Urban Suburban Bear Study. Why? We hypothesize that this early reproduction is linked to the potential for anthropogenic food sources, and that could be a lot of things: garbage, pet food, bird seed. Because of this, we've lengthened the study. It will wrap up in July 2024. Move on to investigating contributions of human-sourced foods to the diet of urban black bears, evaluating the impacts of bear-wise practices. Taking on the challenge of figuring out exactly what those bears are eating around Asheville. Bear News. Let's see. How was the study conducted? With the help from Asheville residents, researchers collected data from 36 female bears in Asheville between 2014 and 2018, around 1 year old. Asheville was wonderful. Conducted entirely on private land in a partnership with the North Carolina Wildlife Commission. Use the information the Wildlife Commission had on calls from residents about urban bears, reached out to those landowners, and just picks up the steam from there. No particular hotspot in Asheville. They but they were trapped all over town. We caught bears in a lot of places. Bears were temporarily sedated while researchers checked their weight, age, general condition, male, female, and more, using GPS-equipped collars designed to release remotely or fall off naturally, which tracked them to their dens to monitor reproductive activity. They took all this stuff. They weighed an average of 100 pounds at 12 to 18 months, compared to the rural bears who weighed an average of 50. The 12 bears around Asheville that were tracked back to their dens, 7 produced a total of 11 cubs by their second birthday. In 3 studies of rural bears, none produced by cubs at that age. And so we didn't expect 2-year-old females to be giving birth. Based on what we know about the black bears, we thought we'd seen litters from bears 3 years of age and older. These results open up new areas of research to learn more about the wildlife. And there is an estimated 7,000 to 8,000 black bears living in Western North Carolina. That's pretty cool. And it went on to talk about, while it did analyze the availability of acorn and other nuts, the study didn't look at berries or other natural food sources. Didn't find anything to help explain the differences in weight between the 2 groups of bears. American black bears are behaviorally flexible omnivores, highly adapted to find and secure high-calorie foods and thus benefit from a variety of urban resources. Those urban resources are garden plants, fruit trees, bird seed, and refuse. Provide black bears the calories to gain weight earlier in life than rural bears. And that weight gain allows them to reproduce earlier, having the nutrients reserves to complete pregnancy, birth, and nursing. Other authors hypothesize that black bear cubs that gain enough weight in the first year grow large enough, breed yearlings, and produce cub at age 2. Abundant natural food facilitates rapid growth of young bears in the habitats. Yeah, and it goes on and talks more and more. That kind of makes sense to me. I mean, I think some of this seems kind of logical. If there's bears near the city, you're going to have more people, which means more of the things they mentioned, the garden plants, garbage, more vegetation, things for them to eat. They get bigger. It's less about the survival because there's ample food, and then they can move on with their life activities, including reproducing, versus a bear who's having to squander. It's it's more of the true wilderness. It's taking longer, and that process is elongated. So interesting study. I like just the picture of the bears, to be honest with you. I thought those were some cool pictures of bears, but it's just so funny that you guys don't see me post any pictures of bears on Instagram. It's because I never see them. They exist, 7,000 to 8,000 bears in this area. I just don't see them. And that's crazy. But those are some beautiful bears. So I thought that was interesting. And I just wanted to share that with you all. Let me check out. Will and Don did a video there. That is Yankee in the South. You talking about Rock City? I will have to check that one out. If I haven't already, maybe it'll ring a bell if I see it again. We have 2 female bears in our area. Each of them had triplets this year. They look pretty well fed too. That is awesome. I saw a video of a bear eating a pumpkin in downtown Gatlinburg. Now, if this study, if you were to put it on an extreme because of the population density from that tourist population, yeah, I mean, when you have all those cabins clustered, and as I mentioned many times, I think not everybody follows the rules. They feed the bears, and the bears know it. And there's an active, heavy black bear population in Gatlinburg. I mean, yes, you're at the entrance to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. That's not happened naturally. The reason there's so many bears is because people feed them or they're finding food. And that's really the truth. Going to check out for the night. I've been offered a big promotion at work. Congratulations. And tomorrow is negotiating day, so I need my beauty sleep. Thanks, Mr. Mountain Man. Good night, all. Have a great week. Todd, that's fantastic. Great job to you and your journey, and success to you. I think that is fantastic. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. That is awesome. Yes. Good luck on that. Yes, for sure. Last up, you can tell by the background. So this picture reflects when I took the picture. If it's sunny, I took it earlier in the day or in the evening, or it's sunny outside if it's like dusk. And you can tell I took this right before the video, before the live stream. 75, 77, 79, 79, 80, 75, 65. We really don't get into that fall weather until Sunday. You can see there. It looks like Friday, 80 degrees. I mean, that's the October the 15th, I believe, is Friday, and it's 80. I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetful, but I thought October at this time. I should turn on the news. WLOS, they usually say if that's above average or below, but that seems like that's a bit above average. So good for the new plants to take root, I guess. Yeah. So there you have it, folks. That's the news and notes for the week of October the 11th, 2021. Catch up on a few last comments and call it a night here. Foxy, this gentle person has no problems, no homeless. He can go overboard on comments sometimes. I'm pretty sure I've seen this channel. I'll have to check it out. I'll make a little note. I swear. I mean, pretty much anything of the area gets suggested on my feed. So I'll have to check it out. But yes, being even on both sides about it, it's a big city and there's going to be that. There's a particular area in downtown Asheville that does have a pretty dense homeless population, but it's so interesting because right across the street are like these really nice cafes and restaurants and stuff like that. Asheville's just kind of a cool, there's a lot of hippies and it's like, it's a really fun culture. I'll make sure to get coverage of Asheville. That's long overdue on this channel. I mean, that's where I'm based out of. So that is very high on my list of things to do. I wonder if the fires had anything to do with how many bears are coming down to Gatlinburg now, from years ago or recently. But again, like we've stayed up Ski Mountain Road, we stayed up there in Chalet Village, and there were ample bears, but it would be like cabin and cabin and cabin and cabin and cabin with those locked up, trash bins and stuff. But it only takes like one house of, a bunch of guys, just having it. Hey, let's see if we can get some bears, throw that extra pizza outside and we'll catch it on, that kind of thing going on. Whereas I would assume permanent residents are, probably following the rules a little bit more closely. I generally don't watch them, just came across this and watched. Yeah. I wonder how old that video, I'll have to check it out. Political comments, I get enough of that in the news. Yeah. So that that's just perfectly said. Yeah. It's exhausting what the last 18 months, it's exhausting. We see way too many homeless. I've seen it on TV and the videos, but it just doesn't prepare you to see in real life how people are living, and, it's tough. I mean, you see folks and you wonder what difficult life path they've walked and, what challenges they've had and stuff like that. So, when we lived in Florida, we had a lot of homeless because the warmer the climate, the more rampant it was. And that down there that, there were a lot of people, but, there was a lot of effort from the community to build like homeless shelters and stuff and try to get people, back on their feet. My wife's a social worker. So, years ago when she would be doing that, wasn't necessarily working with the homeless, but it could be definitely working with the people in society that were on the fringe, that needed to, that were, get back on the right step. And she helped a lot of people, get confidence and get a job and get responsible. It's one of those jobs that's super underpaid. Social workers, anybody who's a social worker, it's a incredible thing that they do. Big fire from a few years ago. Yeah. It's possible it could have pushed them down from those fires up there at Chimney Top. but I'm not 100% sure. My strong hypothesis on that is just the heavy, dense tourist population and the garbage and the just enough folks to leave food out to bring in the bears, extra bears. And that's like, would the bears rather go into Gatlinburg and find some garbage and eat, or have to go up to like Klingman's Dome and find berries on a tree? So it's I think that's probably they're smarter than the average bear. Nashville is the same. All way big cities have these problems. It's a shame, but it can't be helped. Yeah. It is. I think the pandemic had a lot to do with the Bears coming to town, possibly. Maybe cheer people up. Glad you're able to come on tonight. It just wouldn't be Monday without our live stream. I appreciate it. I actually do think about you specific folks, especially the ones that are still here. Rita, Foxy, Larry, especially you guys, Carlos, Mr. Carlos, the folks that are here, week after week, Mike, these people and the people that also listen in the background, they don't prefer to chime in, and that is fantastic. Always welcome here, and I hope you enjoy the content. And so, yeah, I was literally I'm like, I'm going to work out, and then my wife's like, it's back on. And I'm like, all right, I'm doing Mountain Man Monday. And so I'm glad that we were able to do that, because I was off a few weeks ago, and so I'm glad to keep this going. So excellent place to wrap it up here on this. Let's go back to the main banner here, which is episode number 91. Fantastic episode 91. By the way, happy the old Steelers won this weekend. We beat the Denver Broncos. So obviously sporting my gear. You'll notice that if we lost, I have this black logo on black, and you can't really see. And when I'm a little more proud, I got the logo that stands out a little bit more. So thank you all for joining me here late this evening. I hope you all have a wonderful fall week. Enjoy the leaves. Enjoy wherever you're at. I will get back to getting some content here and work on that next video from the mountains in the summer. And also, I really want to get something out for Collected Candyman. I have a boatload of videos on that side. So I'd like to get one hopefully out this week for those of you that like that as well. Anyway, yes, another great week. Thanks for hanging in there, Mr. Mountain Man, until your internet came out. Appreciate it, Mr. Carlos. Sorry to hear about the ticket. That's a bummer. Hopefully that's a short memory, and move on to some positive stuff there. Great live stream. Actually glad you were on later tonight. Then you were able to join us 3 hours behind. Yes. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you, Rita. You as well. The Buckeyes were looking great. When I was doing the planting outside, I was listening to that game. Just a quick funny story. The game I was listening to was on Sirius XM satellite radio, and they pick either of the school to host it. And so it was Maryland's radio broadcast. The two guys broadcasting were so depressed because the Buckeyes won like 66-12, and it was constantly like touchdown. And the guys, they had nothing to say. They were like legitimately like unhappy. It was crazy. Everyone have a great week, everyone. And please be safe. Want to see everyone back next Monday. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me late this evening. Enjoy your week. And until next Monday on this live stream, we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone, and good night.